All right, 6 o'clock. Call this emergency meeting and pursuant of Texas Government Code 551.045 to address an imminent threat to public health and safety of the Clifton City Council. When was the meeting posted?
Today at 4 o'clock.
Okay. Rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Okay. Do we have any cards filled out for public comment?
No.
Okay. All right, agenda item A, discussion and possible action regarding the authorization to expend up to $65,000 to repair well 7 to be paid out of the CO or revenue fund cash reserves.
Council, thank you all for coming tonight, and I know it's last minute, and I know y'all have a lot of stuff going on. Here's Councilman Les flying in the parking lot, but appreciate y'all coming. We're going to just briefly give you a description of what's happening. I'm going to have Craig Wickman speak shortly. What I've done is I've given you two choices. We can either take this out of the CO or the revenue cash reserves. Revenue cash reserves right now show a reserve of 1.6936, and the CO currently is at 6.8. So I'm just giving you, according to Charlie, he wanted y'all to get a couple of choices, and we're asking for up to $65,000 in case there's some overages. Right now, we've got a quote. Well, we originally thought the quote was going to come in around $100,000. It came in so far about $58,000 and some change. So just in case they get into some a few other things, we just made it a ceiling up to $65,000. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to ask Mr. Wickman to give us a brief description of what's going on to let y'all know why this is an emergency situation.
Okay, a little basic information. The city of Clifton's water system is basically two separate systems. The Oak Run Edition is the system that we're talking about, and it's primarily designed to operate off of a well. It's not connected to the surface water system that the rest of the town is connected to. We do have a valve arrangement up there where in a situation where the well goes down, we can open and close a series of valves to where we can push the surface water to Oak Run. But at that point in time, the surface water is no longer available to the rest of town. We can operate fine off of just wells in the rest of town. The problem we've got now is on March 20th, we started seeing a trend going down on the well production. It went from 175,000 gallons a day to 30,000 gallons. And within 2 or 3 days, it was completely out. So at that point in time, we switched everything over to the surface plant. But today we started having issues with the surface plant. So if it goes down, Oak Run won't have any water at all. So that's why we're here.
When it started doing it, started fluctuating back and forth, and you might briefly talk about the screens that went down on the.
Yeah, basically it's the computer system or the PLCs that we talked about earlier with the CO that we're in the process of working on one of the filter systems, and whenever we rebooted the system, it crashed, and when it came back up, now the valves aren't modulating. They're just going from 0 to 10 just back and forth. And if we can't get that straightened out, it's going to be really difficult to keep water.
That's pretty much it in a nutshell. So we called y'all here to see how we want to fund this. We're going to bring this. We talked to the mayor about it the other day when we did know that number 7 went down. We thought we could make it go to the next council meeting. And anyway, as of today, we have about 24 hours of water in the holding tank right now. Is that correct?
Yes.
So we still know, even if we start this process tomorrow, we do have the well company on hold. They start the process tomorrow, it's still gonna be a 2 to 3 days, because once they get the well fixed, we still have to chlorinate, super chlorinate it. We have to make sure that the chlorine levels are right, and no bacteria levels and all that.
Make sure there's no bacteria in
Make
the
sure.
water.
So that still takes a couple of days, so the further we push this back, the possibility we have of Okron not having any water, so. Anyway, do y'all have any questions about that? Well, Craig can answer some questions, or I can answer some questions.
I don't have to be specific to the water, but as far as the options out of the CO or the general, did we account for this in the CO when we were?
We accounted for some smaller projects in the CO, and actually, we were talking about bringing this, because the mayor did ask that question. I just wanted to give y'all some options, let you know what was in the revenue reserves right now. And we could, that would just be our cash reserve, like an emergency if something came up or something like that, which this is emergency. But we had talked about, some of these smaller projects, if something came up to where we could take it out of the CO, and that would be my recommendation, that you take it out of the CO.
The surface water issue, that is part of the CO? The computer system? Like
Yeah,
we-
the computer system and the filter rehab is in the CO.
But the well is not,
No.
right? Okay. What will happen, so if we have 24 hours of Oak Run water and we're 2 to 3 days out, what happens in the 48 hours?
Well, if you were to actually empty the tank and not be able to keep any water in the system, you go into a boiled water situation. Right now, we're maintaining a pressure fine.
So, say we approve this right now, are we there no matter, we need to, will that happen in that interim time?
If the well is repaired and brought back online, there will not be a boil water notice required.
So is the current water restrictions gonna extend that 24 hours?
We extended that, we just set that out today, and we also did the reverse 911 calls also. I don't know if any of y'all received them, but we issued this, I believe it's till Monday, is that correct?
Yes.
Correct. So, and just to basically put on there a mandatory water restrictions, because
What's involved in a mandatory?
that means no washing cars, no watering lawns, basically your basic necessities, bathing, stuff like that. And we do realize that Oak Run area is one of our highest water usage areas. So we were trying to get the word out as fast as we possibly could after this happened this afternoon. So Chris was able to get us with reverse 911. We were able to get door knockers out. We put it online. So we tried to get it out as fast as we possibly could.
Before we talk about it, just to have it in our minds, what would the staff recommendation be for
I'd
where
say
this money comes from?
Staff would recommend it coming out of the CO.
So like Kat was saying, we got 24 hours of water, but it's 2 to 3 days before. Is there a possibility of Oak Run running out of water?
Well, basically, our storage tank up there will hold 24 hours worth of, or 2 days worth of water. It's about 50% full this afternoon, about 2 o'clock, and while we're having issues with the plant. The plant is still working, but they're having to manually drive the system out there. So we do have electricians on site out there now working on the computer system.
And you might want to talk about the 24 hours a day. We got staff out there.
Yeah, basically, since they're operating it manually, typically the plant runs for about 8 hours a day and then shuts down. But now it's pretty much continuous use since we're down to 1 filter anyway. And if that was to go down, we couldn't keep the tank filled. So they've probably got 100,000 gallons of water. They use about 175,000 gallons of water in Oak Run every day.
And we've talked about the water loop and all that, and that would alleviate a lot of these issues if we get, when we get the loop in.
Yeah, the loop will basically make the, instead of having two systems, we'll have one connected system at that point in time, so if Oak Run's well goes down, the other wells and the water plant both will work together to cover the whole town.
Okay, do you wanna,
Yeah, I'll make a
Discuss.
motion, I mean, unless y'all want to discuss.
is there anything y'all wanna discuss about where it
I don't
comes
have any
from? or-
additional
Okay,
discussion.
no, I don't either.
I'll
Okay,
make a motion that we use the CO funds to, and authorize to expend up to $65,000 to repair well 7 out of the CO.
can you have a second? Okay, Will, with the second? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, motion passes. All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, then this meeting is adjourned
Thank you, council.
at 6:11.